How's it going, everybody? BP here, just looking to break down SDPI stock from today, 129 2016. Superior Drilling Productions Inc. Stock had a huge move today, obviously, ended up jumping up about 123% by the end of the day. As you can see, the chart here was pretty volatile throughout the day. There's a lot of opportunity to make money on the short side and on the long side. I thought the move was pretty ridiculous and unwarranted, so I wanted to dig into this a little bit deeper and find out what was going on with it. I noticed that the PR said Superior Drilling Products Inc. to supply Baker Hughes with equipment. Well, the first thing I noticed was this is kind of shady. It's a very vague PR. It gives absolutely no financial details about the supposed contract with Baker Hughes, and I thought that was a little bit fishy from the get-go. So after digging a little bit deeper, I found out when they actually released a, let's see here, they released a 8K, and it happened to be released at 3:57 p.m. at the end of the day when the stock had already made a huge move on volume. I thought that was a little bit suspect, kind of a red flag there. And when you pull up the 8K and you look a little closer, you find out that the supposed contract doesn't quite look as big as the PR tries to display. So when you look through here, you realize that it's talking about Hard Rock Solutions is a wholly owned subsidiary of Superior Drilling, and it's that subsidiary that entered into a business subcontract agreement, which sounds small, with Baker Hughes oil field operations. So that sounds to me like it's probably a subsidiary of Baker Hughes. So it looks like the PR was designed to make it sound like this big contract. It was this huge deal, and it looks like it was really something a lot smaller. And to be honest with you guys, if they're hiding the financials in the PR, there's usually a reason. So most likely they're hiding it because it's not substantial. If it was substantial, they'd want to put in the numbers and the details. If it was a huge $100 million contract, or if it was this big deal, they would want to put it out. Of course you would. But by the fact that they're hiding it, it is a little shady. And then they put out this 8K that shows a little more detail after they already made the huge move at 357. I mean, that's just it's a red flag. Okay. Also, something else that's a little shady. If you go back a little bit here to several days ago, you'll see, Form 4s, okay? Usually Form 4s, it means there's some sort of insider acquiring shares, okay? You see several of them here. And when you look into them, January 15th, which is a couple weeks ago, you see that people are picking up shares, 1,500, 4,500 common stock. You see the price is $1.94, and A means they acquired the shares, so they're acquiring the shares. And obviously they knew something was going to happen. They knew they were going to put out a PR, and they started buying up shares so they could dump them on the retail traders. I mean, to me, it's clear as day. And I think you have to be pretty naive not to think that they're going to be dumping those shares they bought at $1 on a 100% run, and they're going to leave retail traders holding the bag. And you can see here that the stock closed way up, and it closed at around 235 resistance. So there's a really good chance that this could start to bleed pretty bad on Monday once people read through the 8K and kind of realize that this is really overblown. All right. So my price target I'm going to put on this stock is $1.30, and that's going to be in the short term. It's a super low float. I expect it to bleed. It could potentially try to pop because a lot of the chasing bullish traders are going to be jumping on this thing maybe in the morning, thinking it might have a second day move. But in the end, I think this thing is going to get roasted. It's going to come down. It's going to leave people holding the bag. I believe it was overblown press release that was designed by insider traders insider buyers who bought up the shares, and they pumped it. I think they put a pump behind this. They put out the PR to make it appear big, and it ran. I mean, it worked. It went up huge. So it was a great stock to trade, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you see that it. And I was in this. I shorted this a couple times today, and you can see here that this dropped once it ran up big. It had a nice drop here. You could have made on the short side and kind of came down and showed a 160 area resistance on the previous. 160 area support on the previous resistance here, and then it popped again. I mean, it was a great volatility stock. You can see it popped a little higher. Ended up showing support kind of around the 185 area throughout the day, and definitely didn't expect this big move at the end of the day. Ran up to 250. But I have a feeling, being that it closed really high and under the circumstances that I just explained, and that it closed at resistance, I have a feeling this thing's probably going to come down pretty hard. So just be careful with it. If you're long, just keep this in mind. And if you're short, hopefully you can make some nice money on the drop. If you have any questions about any of this, feel free to email me, bprising1@gmail.com. And if you're interested in joining our trading room, please feel free. We'd love to have you. And we teach basically short strategies. So if you're interested in learning how to short smaller cap stocks, then we're the team. We're the team you want to be a part of. Okay. So as always, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And until the next video, you guys have a good one. I'll see you later.